Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
I will take care of it tomorrow. I really wish I could work on it right now, but I have so many things to do. I have this long list of things. And you know what? I'm just not feeling well right now. I think that I'd like to join, but I don't have the money. In fact, I really don't think I can even get involved in this organization because I know it's volunteer, but I don't have the time. Do any of these sound familiar to you or some kind of combination thereof? These are the stories that we tell ourselves about why we are not moving forward, why our life is not the way we'd like it to be, why we're not happy or why we're not at peace. We're going to explore this and so much more today on Dr. Jacalyn Unscripted TV show. Joining me is the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedl, who is finally back in his RV. Let's welcome him, joining us from Europe. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Jacalyn. Great to see you. Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I had a little issue when I started the show, but otherwise we're all good. So, Roland, you are where in Europe right now?
I'm in Austria, actually in the north of Austria, very close to the Czech border on a little river. Back in my RV after over 6 weeks. Finally, I got it back, so I'm fine.
I'm glad to hear it. So you and I are both coaches. We're both mentors. We've been in the public eye for a very long time. You and I have done hundreds of television shows together. And this is always a topic that never gets old because I personally hear it on a regular basis from people I interact with. And it becomes so commonplace that people don't even realize they are their own saboteur. They are the ones holding themselves back. So we look at the title today, the stories we tell ourselves. There might be people out there watching or listening and they're thinking, oh, this isn't me, but yet they're not where they want to be in their life. They haven't accomplished what they want to accomplish, but it's always someone else, something else's fault. What are your thoughts on this?
100%, Jacalyn. We're both coaches, but I can speak for myself. Even I'm a coach, and I guess I'm successful in life. I live the life, my dream life. So traveling around, meeting nice people, cool spots. But I'm still telling myself sometimes stories. To be very honest, everyone does it when he or she is honest. We do this occasionally, maybe not on a daily basis, but it happens to me too, and I do it. I hear it from other people. I'm interacting. So it's part of the game. The question is, how much does it impact our life? So I think about what exactly are we're telling ourselves. And yes, we always do it. We have excuses. Maybe we have negative experience in the past. That's why we're telling our stories. I'm not good enough. This stories from our childhood. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. Or even later, I don't have time. I don't have the money. I'm too old. I'm too young. We always tell each other stories. Before the show, when you started the show, Dr. Jacalyn, I was thinking about, did I tell myself a story today? And I said, yes, I did on a Sunday. Yes, I did. Because actually, I was invited to join a Zoom call at 3 hours before. But I had so much pain and I was so tired. I said, no, I don't, no. I told myself, no, I'm too tired. I'm not joining. Yeah, I do it myself.
But is that really a story? Because when you're in pain, you're not making that up. You're physically in pain. So that would impact your contributions to be on the call. So I think that's a little bit different. And I want to hear your thoughts about it. But I find that if I'm telling myself a story, I will typically catch myself doing so. And then I'll say, okay, I give you permission to follow through with this story, or just wake up and realize you're just making excuses for yourself. So in your case, you actually had broken foot and you're still in pain and you're still rehabilitating. So how is that a story in your mind?
Because of my personal standards, I always show up. I always on duty. I'm very disciplined. So from my standard, from my personal standard, what I'm expecting from myself, I'm telling myself a story. Maybe other people say, hey, you are sick, you're pain, I was never sick when I was working. I always showed up, that's my personal standard,
Yeah, and I understand that because that's the standard that I follow as well. And the other thing that I've realized, and I've made great strides to keep this to a minimum, is that when we are about to give ourselves a story or an excuse, we'll ask for other people to join in on it. Hey, what do you think if I don't do this or that today? Oh, yeah, you don't need to do it. You might as well just skip it. You've already done this. And we love having people who support what it is we have to say, because now we feel better about doing it.
Yeah, we don't feel alone. Yeah, when you get from support from outside, and the funny thing is, but depending on what kind of people are surround you, when you have successful business, I have very successful friends around me, and they push they push me and said, "Hey, bloody bastard, get out of the chair, move." And other friends, they're just flying around in life. They said, okay, take it easy, man. Take it easy, man. If you don't feel it, don't do so. But this drives me crazy. To be honest, I love my friends who push me. I would say, hey, you lazy bastard, get up out of the seat, move up. I love this. But sometimes we don't want to hear it, but I love it because this is what drives me. This is what motivates me. This is what brings me forward. But I know what you mean. Sometimes you have friends that say, okay, take it easy, take it easy. Yeah. But with take it easy, nothing is happening.
Yeah, it's very true. And it's so easy to stay exactly where we are. And I know for me, one of the things I hear on a regular basis, I was just thinking about this yesterday. I had to run a bunch of errands, and it seemed like every place I went, people just started talking to me, total strangers. And I came back home and I had gone to the farmer's market and I made myself this really healthy dinner because I don't cook that much. And I was really excited about it. And then I realized, oh, now you're totally alone. So even though all day people were talking to you, now you made this beautiful meal and there's no one to eat it with you and you are totally alone. And then I started going down this path of, oh, woe is me. And how did I get to be 63? And I'm sitting here and I have a beautiful apartment, blah, blah, blah. And then I just thought, that's it. I don't even want to hear it anymore. I'm not even saying it out loud. It's like in my mind going around and around. It's the same story. I'm done with it. And I say to myself, because you've chosen to live this life. This is the life you love. And just because it's Saturday night, date night, recognized around the world as date night, and you're sitting here, you wouldn't want to be on a date anyway. So what are you doing? And then I felt much better.
Very good, very good. The life we live today is the result of the things we did or did not. Maybe the last 2, 3, 4 years, and that's our decision. Yeah, I totally understand. But sometimes we have this mood, when I was 4 years single, and I had this mood too. And I said, okay, but you choose it. You choose it. But sometimes you have it, yeah, but this is normal. But I think that, that many people tell stories, tell themselves stories because they don't believe in themselves. So, and the thing is, when we tell ourselves stories, they're negative, I'm not good enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm young, I'm not old enough, I'm not experienced enough. This is one from our past experience. And then the other thing is, this procrastination. Most we try to procrastinate, or we try to avoid, we try to justify the status quo because we it's a kind, we're just used to it. Maybe our life is shit, but we are used, sorry for this term, but we are used to it. A lot of people say, I know it's shit, but well, it is like it is. It's okay. It's okay. And I hear it very often ask you, how is your life? Yeah, it's okay. And I love the conversation when always when I meet our colleague Red Lovin online when we meet, and I said, how are you? And I said, outstanding. And I said, I love this, I love this, be outstanding. I mean, of course we have challenges. Everyone has challenges, but the question is, how do we react? Yeah. Do we feel as a victim, or is it okay? I sort it out, whatever it is, and staying positive. And to be honest, as long as we are alive, we are healthy, we have a business or a job, or we have food, we have a shelter, everything is good. And for me, Dr. Jacalyn, for me, what helped me is my daily prayer. In the morning, I say, thank you, what I'm just grateful what I'm having. And when I'm going to bed, I'm just grateful what I'm having. And this helped me a lot to tell myself good stories.
Absolutely. I love that. One of the things that just popped into my mind is there was a movie. I don't remember when it came out, but it was a long time ago. And the title was He's Just Not That Into You. And it was about various scenarios of women who had met men and men who had met women, and it wasn't going exactly the way they thought it would be, or they didn't return the phone calls. And they came up with all these stories, all these excuses. Well, he probably was deployed. He probably is in the hospital. He probably, whatever it could be, he's in bed sick. He broke his hand. He can't use the phone. And the bottom line was they ended up, I think it was in this movie, they were talking to the people who were the ones that were the victims, and then the people who were the perpetrators. And basically, the people who didn't call anymore, they just weren't into them. They're like, yeah, it just doesn't work. And so if they had just been direct, or maybe if the person had asked directly, is what's going on? Are you not interested? Or how are you feeling about me? Maybe they would have gotten more information. But I think this comes to a point, which is when we don't have information, sometimes we'll make up a story to make us feel better.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And Chandler, what you mentioned, when we meet people and they say, I call you back, or we see again, and they don't do a lot of, I don't know. I think there's a change in our society that most people don't have the courage or the balls just to be straight in your face and say, hey, it was nice to meet you, but no, thank you. It was cool. So yeah. Most people, I don't know, they're so scared, or they don't know how to communicate anymore. I don't know, but I think since we have mobile phones, everything changed totally. Because before, we had this what do you call this lane, this fixed
Party
lane.
line?
Sorry?
Party line phone?
Yeah,
No.
we had this party line, yeah. No, we had this fixed lane at home, no mobile phones. And you call someone and say, okay, I meet you there and there. And then you showed up because you on the way you didn't have a phone. Well, you could go to a phone box if you have some quarters. Yeah. By the way, I've been many times to the US, but always when I wanted to make a phone call, I didn't have quarters. When I see an American movies, they always have quarters with them.
It's very hard to find payphones now anymore.
Yeah, they're not. Here they're not existing. So what I mean is, so you had an appointment in business or private, doesn't matter. You make this phone call and you showed up. But today, sorry, I'm in a traffic jam. I don't know. It totally changed. Because we always know we can make a call when you have the balls. People make a call. If they don't have the balls, they just text or even don't text.
People just text. And in fact, in the movie I was referencing, I think there was one couple where the person just left a Post-it note. And, it's funny. I know of someone, it just popped in my head. I know of someone, and his wife left a Post-it note on the closet. I'm leaving you. Don't try to contact me. And that was the beginning and end of their marriage, and then their subsequent divorce. But it is interesting because when we're not able to be direct in a professional way, in a polite way, I think all we do is delay the inevitable. And people don't really have information. and they don't know what to do. And so I'm just going to give an example. I'm not going to mention any names, but I had a coaching client very recently, and I just told this person very directly, if you want to make this amount of money and what you're suggesting is this path, I'm telling you, you're not going to get there. And in order to get there, you need to do multiple revenue streams, think like a business person, et cetera. And it wasn't easy for me to say that, but it was something that needed to be said because I was doing a disservice to my client if I'm not providing the information. But I think in relationships, it's very different because people are afraid of hurting feelings. Not that I wasn't afraid of hurting this person's feelings, but when money exchanges hands, you're being paid to provide information to help the person move forward. And so in a relationship, we're always afraid of how we're going to hurt someone's feelings. But what we don't think about is what are we doing to the person in the relationship by not being actively engaged, by not really wanting to be there and thinking about being somewhere else.
Yes, 100%. But many years ago, I was the same because when I grew up as a kid, when you when you when you say what you don't want, or when you criticize your parents or want differently, then there was always this coldness in our relationship. And then my learning was, okay, when I criticize someone, or when I say no, meaning when I set borders, when I set borders, I say, okay, bang, then there was no love anymore flowing. So that's what I learned. And when I came in, when I was growing up, and then made to have a girlfriend, and then later married, I was always afraid when I set borders for myself to protect myself, I'm not be loved anymore. So I was always, this Mr. Nice Guy and stuff. And it took me some years to learn. Okay, I have to set borders. But this was from my childhood. And I think this is many people experience the same. They don't want to. They believe when they say what they want, or when they say no, meaning saying yes to themselves, then it hurts somebody else's feeling. And for me, it was really eye-opening in a relationship when I learned the difference. Okay, I will never forget this. We had an amazing argue, and I thought, okay, now she's leaving me, because I was as experienced when I had an argument with my dad. He didn't talk to me for days, or with my mom, So and I had this argument with my girlfriend, and she didn't leave. I said, huh? Crazy. She didn't argue, but she's still with me. She still loved me. This was, for me, a total new experience. And I shared this with some friends, and I said, you know what? I felt the same. I said, how crazy is this? We are scared to argue. We are scared to say no, to say yes to ourselves, because we believe we're not loved anymore. And I think a lot of stuff is going wrong in our childhood, but we have to learn that we can set borders, that we can say no, we can say yes to ourselves, and we're still loved. And this is so, how to say, this is so powerful in a relationship, when you said, I think when my girlfriend said, now you're a man. You said no. You said yes to yourself. Now I see you're a man. And I said, oh, wow. That's it. Okay. It's not having a tattoo or growing a beard or driving a Harley Davidson. It's setting boundaries.
Well, I agree with you. Now I feel about boundaries are super important. I think, to add on to what you said, is when we are taught certain behaviors at home, we have the tendency to carry them forward. But just yesterday, someone said something to me. I was sharing something about my past, and the person said, that's the little girl. That little girl, Jackie, isn't there anymore. Jacalyn Kerbeck is a successful business person. And the person went on and he said, I think you need to talk to Jackie and tell her that it's okay. That time when she was a little girl, that time is over. And so she doesn't have to keep showing up anymore, because grown Jackie is here and taking care of things. And that really resonated with me, because I think in terms of stories we tell ourselves, we hear those voices of our mom or dad or somebody at school, whomever it is, and we go back to that where we're not good enough. And an example that I have very quickly, I think I've shared it before, but I dated two different guys who both told me I couldn't sing. I love to sing. And I sing all the time. And both of them said, you're a terrible singer. And then I went and recorded a single in London. And I was so happy because I broke that annoying pattern of someone telling me that I'm not good enough. And then I have people say to me, well, why would you go to do that in London? Why would you spend that money? Because I wanted to, because it meant something to me, because I was closing a chapter where I was told, without asking, by the way, that I wasn't good enough. And now I released my own single. So whether I'm good or I'm not good, who cares? I closed the door on that and I'm on to the next thing.
I remember this, when with Madeline, that was Madeline Jane, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
We recorded this song. Yeah. Beautiful, by the way.
Yes,
Beautiful,
last year, actually.
It's also important, that we close some chapters and leave it behind. And as you said, years ago, I was always asking myself, is little Roland, the little Roland talking or the grown-up? Is the little Roland acting or behaving or the grown-up? And for me, it was so kind of healing to realize, okay, when I'm playing drama, it's the little Roland. There's some wounds still open, some pain is still there, or some sadness or some anger from the past. It's also important, and it helped me a lot, to be honest, when in business, when I have really tough CEOs, the stiff side in front of me, and just sometimes screaming on me, or I don't know, I said, okay, little poor boy, I'm okay. So I never took it personal. I said, okay. I saw, this little Willie or this little Johnny here in front of me, and I said to myself, okay, it's good. I learned something. I don't know how to say it in English. When you have a baby, and I remember we have 3 boys, and after breastfeeding, you put the baby here, the head here, and it looks behind, and you bop here, and then it makes it bop. So it has some air in the stomach or somebody, so it's bloating a little bit, and then it makes the air come up, pop, and then it stops crying, it feels good. And I thought always the same, when someone is arguing with me, I saw this little baby, and I said, okay, so I was just imagining holding this manager in my arm, I said, make your poo, and then it's good.
That's a good analogy, actually. Very good. Yeah, but I think also, when we are at a crossroads and we need to make a decision, and of course, we've all said this, I have so much going on, I don't know if I can take on anything else. Is that little Jackie speaking, or is that grown Jackie? I mean, if you want to get ahead, if you want to make the next move, you have to continuously put yourself out there and be visible. And it's interesting when I talk to people, especially when they're applying to be a TV show host and they have no experience. And I give them a lot of credit for reaching out. They're like, oh, I really don't want to be in the public domain. I mean, can we just pre-record everything? No, you're going to be out in the public domain, whether it's pre-recorded or not. What is coming up for you? Oh, I'm not good enough. Stories, right? Stories that people tell themselves. But is that related to when you were a young person and someone said you're not good enough? And typically that's what it is. And so I think if we meet with our younger selves and say, listen, you did your job and I'm handling it now. So there's nothing to be afraid of. We all make mistakes, but as you and I both know, that's part of how we learn. But I think being aware of how and when we're telling ourselves stories is one thing. And then how and when we are coming up against the boundary, meaning we have literally no more mental capacity to take something else on. They're different things.
100%. When the calendar, when the schedule is full, it's full. What can you do? Then you only can make a decision. Okay, what is more important to come closer to my goal? What is urgent? What is really relevant and important to reach my goals? That's important. But when the schedule is full, it's full, and then it is like it is. And then okay, we have to say no. But this is okay. But I think most of the time there's always. I think it's that. We just postpone, or we say no to things that we really that speaking for myself is I don't like to do. Yeah, there's some stuff also in business I don't like to do. I don't like it. Well, now I have some AI agents who do the job for me, but there was always some stuff I didn't like to do, and there was always no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I have no time. I have no time for this, I have no time for that. And then a client was calling, hey, can I have a coaching? Can I have this? And I said, yeah, cool, because I love what I'm doing. And then my schedule was free.
Of course, because it's what is a priority and what isn't. And a lot of the mundane things that we have to do as business owners, they're not sexy, they're not fun, but they've got to be done. And so if we don't want to do it, then we outsource, whether it's to a human or to AI. But we like doing things we're passionate about. And I think when we're not passionate about something, we come up with a story. When we are passionate, we find a way to make it happen. In fact, somebody said to me the other day, I don't know where you get the amount of energy you get to run your businesses, because this person sees me on social media, and work out the way you work out when you're only eating a minimal amount of calories every day. And I said, because what I'm doing energizes me. I mean, I can't look at motivation versus nutrition versus all those things. I give my body what I think it needs, and I run straight down the field with the ball as fast as I can go. And I'm not like running with the ball, looking back the whole time, oh, what's going on back there? And that's what we do so many times, right? You've got to look ahead. If you're looking to score a goal, you're hoping that your team members are there blocking, right, and doing the defense, meaning that you've set up structure, that your discipline has enabled you to move that ball down the field. But if we're constantly looking behind us, it's likely that we may trip or we may run the wrong way. So that's one of the things that I want to share with people, because I know many people whose story is about the past, like this. It used to be this way. I liked it better when it was that way. I want to go back there. Well, you can't go back.
Wow.
And it's not like that, because life evolves and there is a message. You had someone coming with a message, a certified letter delivery for you. Open it up instead of what's back there. We already were there. Not to confuse, we have a show called Lessons in History, which you were on last week and was, I think, our #1 show, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. It was a cool,
Yeah.
it was a cool one, by the way. Yeah, history is important, to learn from history. But as you said, we don't have to look back, it's done, And I think, every day the sun is going up in the morning, there's a sunrise in the morning, meaning there's a new chance. It's a new chance to restart. And when we missed it yesterday, when we failed yesterday, who cares? It's a new day, a new chance. Who says that you're not allowed to restart? You can always do a restart, a really restart. And another thing about what you just mentioned, looking back, is the reason why I love historical movies. This monumental, this movies like Troya or I don't know, Odyssey or whatever. When you see this ancient leaders, when they go in a battle, they stream and then they run and they never look back if somebody's following or not, because then they lose. So you have to have self-esteem. You have to have this power to be driven. You go for it, yeah. And as you said, most people, I'm alone. Oh shit, nobody's following. Maybe it's the wrong thing I'm doing. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in what they're doing. And then of course, then when you have self-doubt, who the hell is buying from you? If you don't believe in yourself and your service, why should your customer believe in it?
That's right. And who wants to hear a bunch of excuses? And Roland, when you said something about the sunrise this morning, which it was Sunday here, some places in the world it's Monday, I was able to go to the window to the east and I saw the sun just peeking out and it started to rise. And I thought, how cool is it that I get to watch this? That this sun comes up and it goes down every day. And I am here another day to observe this. And so I started looking around and I saw some things in the view that I've never seen before. They've been there, but I just didn't notice them. And then at the end of the day, what I like to do as the sun sets, whether I can watch it or not, is reflect on what did I accomplish. So I give myself the grace for that. Congratulations. And what is there left to do? And then I always add more things because it's so exciting. It's exciting that we get the opportunity to continue building.
Yeah. I have a journal every day. So it asked me in the morning, okay, why is this day important? What's the most important task? What's the task I don't like to do? Why I don't like to do? And then I go for it. And in the evening, it's always asking me, what did you like today from the stuff you had to do, from your to do? What did you like? What did you accomplish? How successful was? And was there a chance that you brought some joy to somebody, or brought somebody to smile, or could you help somebody? I do this every day, and in the morning and in the evening, and it's, I don't know, it's so powerful for me, to be really clear, especially in the morning. What's the task I don't like? I said, okay, well, and I learned I do this first because it's always in my head. I have to do it. Have to do it. Have to do it. Have to, and then I feel really guilty. And when I feel guilty, that's my own experience. I'm not really creative because it's my thoughts are always around this: what I should do, what I should do, and then creativity for me is not really 100% possible. So I always do the first in the morning. What's the task I don't like today? Okay, let's do it first. Then it's done. I don't have to think. That's how I started, many, 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 many years ago, working out. I went to the gym because they open 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning, then it's done. It's done, because in the beginning I didn't like it. So, and it's done. And I think it's also important that we take the task that we don't like at all. Of course, it has been an important task, that brings us a step forward to our goal, that we do it first in the morning. And no matter what it is, get rid of it, sort it out, do it, and then do the things you like to do. As you say, sometimes we have to do things we don't like. As I always say, we have to pay the price. We have to pay the price, and paying the price means you have to do it because it has to be done, and it's not because now you feel it, or it's the good moment, or whatever. You do it because it has to be done, and I think that's so important that we don't tell ourselves stories in this way.
Yeah, and you just hit on something else which I hear on a regular basis, which is I'm waiting for the perfect moment. Interesting. I
Still
think
waiting.
yes, you're going to be waiting. So if you're not going to do it today, is it likely that you're going to do it tomorrow? No, because tomorrow you're going to come up with something else.
Yeah.
And that really leads into a selfish plug for my new book, which is coming out. Let me see if I can find the cover, because it makes total sense. It's Stop Why Knowing Isn't Enough, right? We have all the information, but we come up with these stories about why it doesn't apply to us. Oh, I don't need to get sleep at night. I don't need to drink water. I remember having a conversation with someone who only drank soda. And they said to me that soda is liquid. It's the same thing as water. And I thought, I'm not going to have this conversation, because there's you're talking about chemicals and sugar versus clean, clear water. No, they're not the same. But in the person's mind, if they were drinking 8 sodas a day, then they didn't have to drink 8 glasses of water, because they don't like the taste of water and everything should taste good. Well, your body is not happy about that. Don't you want your body to function at a high level? You have the information. You're supposed to drink X number of ounces of water a day, but you've told yourself this story and you've bought into it.
Yes. And by the way, because when you say you drink sodas because the water doesn't taste good, I think it's not that water doesn't taste good. It's because people are addicted to the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't
It's
had a
an addiction.
soda in, I want to say 30 years, but it could be more than that. I don't even know. I don't understand the whole thing, but I'm not judging anyone. I just think
No.
that your body wants water. I think our bodies are 75% water. Is that correct?
Yeah, the older we get, we get drier. That's the bad news. Yeah, that's the bad news. We see it in our skins and stuff like that. But yeah, it's about 85 to 90% is water. But the older we become, it's the less water is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, Roland, what can you share with our audience who may be waking up to the idea that they are telling themselves stories and not getting to where they want to go?
I think well, it's very helpful. Sometimes I do with my client is when I tell them stories, and I said, okay, wait. The first thing is you have to realize that you tell yourself a stories, because you cannot change what you don't know. So some people are very unaware that they're telling themselves stories. So the first thing is realize, oh my God, right now I'm telling myself a story without validating. It's good or it doesn't matter. Just okay, I just told myself a story. That's the first thing, to realize that what are you doing at the present moment. And then that would help me and help my clients is write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Read it. And then I said, what the heck I'm telling, what crap I'm telling myself. And then throw it away or burn it or get rid of it. That's what helped me in a lot of clients. But first of all is we have to realize, we have to be aware that we're telling ourselves stories. But most people are not so 100% not aware about that they're talking to themselves and what they're talking about themselves. So most people are not aware. They think it's normal. And I think that's the first step. Being aware of what you're telling, acknowledge it. It can help to write it down, but it's not about manifestation. It's about, okay, read it, laugh about it, what stupid things you're telling yourself, and then burn it when it's something from the past. Meaning when it's something, a negative experience from the past. And then what helped me a lot, what I learned from Tony Robbins almost 30 years ago is, he said, do you want to let it go? What holds you back? What you're telling yourself, you're not good enough, you're not whatever. Do you want to let it go? When? Now. And then let it go and let it go. I think we don't need hours and hours of therapies to get negative thinking stuff. It's about making a decision to let go. That's one thing. The other thing is, when we talk about telling ourselves stories, we don't want to do this task or this task, is again being aware that we're telling ourselves our story, and then just thinking about, what is my goal? I set a goal. Hopefully everyone has a goal in life, a purpose in life. Okay. Does this bring me closer to my goal? Yes or no? If no, maybe I have to change something. Or maybe the goal is not important for me enough. So maybe a question can be, is this goal still important for me? Do I really want to be this person or have this or do this or whatever? If yes, move yes. By the way, this was always how I kind of motivated my team leaders many years ago in my business, when they had these bad moments and they have had these excuses, telling themselves stories. Yeah, I can't do this. I don't have the time, blah, blah, blah. I always ask one question, because I was from my team leaders, from my first line leaders, when they started to come into my business, I always ask them, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Why you want to achieve these goals? What is it? Maybe you want to have more money, a larger apartment, or a second car, or pay a better education university for the kids. I don't care. I was always, there was no computer at the time. So I always had this small cards, and I was writing down their personal goals. And I collected them. And when I had them on the phone and face-to-face, and I heard these excuses or their stories, I always had one question. I said, okay, stop at a moment. Only first question. You told me half a year ago, 2 years ago, your goal is this and this. Is this goal still important for you? Yes or no? Okay. Did you find a different way to get to this goal? No. What shall we do? Okay. Forget all excuses. We make an action plan and then we go. That's how I help people. That helped me and myself. I hope this answers your question.
It does, actually. And I love the part that you said, have you found a different way to meet your goal? And I know we're out of time. I just have one more comment on that, which is, sometimes our goals change, right? But we have to be aware of that. But if you are saying to yourself, you're writing down, I want to accomplish this by this date, and then you look at how you're spending your time, is that expenditure of time going towards accomplishing this goal? And some of the things that I hear from people are, well, I have to take a few hours off every day. I like to watch TV, whatever it is they want to do, right? I need to take 5 weeks vacation in the summer. And then, of course, I'm taking the holidays off at the end of the year. Are all of these things going to be able to help you get to where you want to go? And if they're not, then maybe that's not really where you want to go, right? It's like maybe you're following a map that is leading you somewhere else, and that's okay, but just be honest about it.
Yeah, 100%. I had a similar experience with some friends. They say, I have to do this. I don't know, watch this tennis game, or I want to watch TV or whatever. And I always, what I always said to my friends, I said, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that you earn money when you watch this game. Can you tell me more about it?
Which is true, because I know for myself, I am constantly looking at YouTube videos so I can expand my knowledge. I get the information I need and I move on. But to sit and just watch something just for the sake of watching it, no, that's not who I am. But Roland, we are out of time and our next show is coming up. What's the best way for people to reach you?
The best way is sending me an email. It's the best way for people who want to change their life, or maybe they're on a crossroad. They don't know turning left or turning right. They need some sparing or some advice, or benefiting from my experience. The best way is send me an email. You see it here on the banner, office@rolandfriedl.com. You can also order my books, which are available on Amazon, or you go on my website, it's rolandfriedl.com. Don't hesitate to contact me, and let's see how we can work a part of the path together.
All right. Thank you very much, Roland. I look forward to seeing you, and have a beautiful rest of your evening.
Same to you. Thank you. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So today is another opportunity, my friends, wherever you are in the world, to make a change, to look at what are the stories you are telling yourself, and are they serving you? Are you accomplishing what you want to accomplish? When you leave this planet, do you feel that you are creating a legacy that you are proud of? On the day-to-day activities that you're doing in your life, are they bringing you joy? If not, look at what it is you're telling yourself, and look at your goals, and are they in alignment? And if they're not, maybe it's time to reassess where your goals are and if you actually want to achieve those, because as time goes on, our goals change. And something that used to be really important may not be as important. And at the same time, we have so much information available to us. We have what we need to make decisions, but yet we don't move forward. And we typically don't move forward because we're telling ourselves a story. It's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get around to it. I'll figure it out later. Someone else will straighten it out. These are all stories we tell ourselves. Thank you again for being here. Our next show is coming up very quickly. And until then, we're going to hear from our friend Red O'Loughlin about his new book, which is Aging Sucks, which is kind of interesting if you think about it. We all tell ourselves stories about aging. Here we go.
What if many of the problems we associate with aging are not random? What if there are identifiable causes behind declining energy, chronic disease, and memory problems? We have been told that aging is simply something we must accept, that slowing down is normal, that growing older means growing weaker. But what if that's only part of the story? Why do some people remain active and engaged well into their later years? Why do others struggle with disease, fatigue, and declining health? What is happening beneath the surface? What processes drive aging? In Aging Sucks, researcher, educator, and author Red O'Loughlin explores what researchers have discovered about why we grow older. No medical degree required, no confusing jargon, just clear explanations of what researchers have discovered about the processes that influence aging. You cannot stop aging, but understanding its causes may help you make better decisions about your health, your future, and your quality of life. Because understanding comes before action. Action creates hope. Aging sucks. End the guesswork. There is hope.
Thanks Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.